What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to The Output with DJ Unprotected, featuring me as your host. Now, this is a podcast focused on pop culture, the entertainment industry, music, and fun segments to make you feel better about yourselves and maybe feel better about me too. Now, if you have been enjoying this show and appreciate the content, please do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and support this podcast. I really appreciate it. And another quick favor, if you have an extra 3 seconds, so simple, 3 seconds to rate this podcast, be honest, and please do. So whether you're listening on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google, I promise I'm everywhere. I know I submitted. I did everything I could to get my podcast everywhere. So do me a favor, please give me a rating, and I hope that it's 5 stars. Now, as we crack into this episode, I think they call this Sweet 16. Nope. That's right. We are here at episode 16. Pretty amazing. I'm not going to lie. I'm proud of myself. Commitment level strong is with, oh my goodness. I swear I have not even had one full beer. So the commitment level is strong with me on this one. That's what I get for dropping commitment words here, hanging out with you guys. All right. So the show's most intriguing question. All right, and if you were listening to last week, I started this thing where I start the show with an intriguing question, give you the opportunity to think about it towards the end, and then I give you my answer. Now, obviously, these are not lame-ass questions, and they're not your typical questions that you may find on a date or some wasting time talking to coworkers while you're waiting for coffee. So, what movie can you watch over and over and never get tired of? A little different than asking what somebody's favorite movie is, because you could have a favorite movie and not be able to watch it over and over. I'll share my thoughts towards the end of the show. Guys, it is October, and it's Halloween season, baby. For those of you with some type of TV service and streaming or whatever you do, it's 31 days of Halloween, and it starts now. So you bust out that popcorn and start watching Hocus Pocus, for crying out loud. Now, this month, okay, Halloween, October, only comes once a year, so take advantage of it. So you might be thinking, well, there's 12 months, so every month comes once a year, but that's not true. Let's put this in perspective, all right? December has Christmas. Well, Christmas is December. December is Christmas. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. But Christmas is pretty much 2 months. November and December. And honestly, it's bleeding into October a bit. Now, you can prove me wrong, but if you go shopping in Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Marshall's, and whatever decor place you like to hit up for some bargain hunting, tell me they don't have Christmas decorations out in a few weeks. If not now, try me, because I remember last year going shopping before my Halloween party, which was on October 26th, and I went the week before. Okay, so it was like October 19th-ish, something like that. But I went and they had Christmas decor, and the Halloween decor was like, you know, in the, hey, we're trying to sell this shit now, buy it for cheap, whatever. So I'm telling you. So anyway, Halloween's exciting. I love this time of year. It's one of my favorite times. I love the fall. I remember being a kid, jumping through leaves, kind of a different situation now as an adultish, but I love Halloween. Halloween's great. You know what I mean? Like the seasonal change, and it's a wild time for trees. And I'll try not to get into this too much, but trees are dying, or they are sacrificing all of their leaves, and some of them sacrificing their limbs just to stay alive. It's pretty incredible. But I love Halloween. It's awesome. So, favorite movies. What's your favorite movie? Like your favorite scary movie. Okay, that's because I can't wait to talk about the first question. But favorite scary movie. Now for me, okay, we talk about favorites. It's kind of like what's both entertaining, creepy, and a little fucked up. I would have to say Freddy Krueger. And it may not be my favorite, but now that I'm an adult, you know, I kind of find his movies funny. The Nightmare on Elm Street, the ones from the 80s, had some funny parts in it. Like, here's a few examples, okay? One, he turns this chick into All right, so he captures her into this box. She's running, 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 and she runs to the end of the box, and all of a sudden she can't get out. And Freddy Krueger's sitting there looking through one of the holes and starts laughing, and this girl just starts screaming, and it's kind of like that thrilling, just screeching, hurt your ears type scream with the like weird music in the background. Total horror, okay? But she's just screaming like, ah! And anyway, it ends up that box that he's holding her in is a roach trap, all right? And she's in there yelling, and she's turning into this roach, and this roach is coming out of her body, and it's like really creepy. But the funny part is he's watching it the whole time and laughing on the other end of the box. And then after she transforms into a roach, it's a roach trap. Before he kills her, he goes, "Roaches check in, but they don't check out." and then kills her in the trap. So that type of stuff is funny. And there's another one. I forget. I think it's Nightmare on Elm Street 3. And I believe one of the lead characters in it was the nerd from The Breakfast Club, Brian. So I think he played a character in this movie. I hope I got it right. It's been a while since I've seen this one, like at least 11 months. But all of a sudden, like one of the characters is falling out of the sky. So they're having a dream. They're falling out of the sky, and Freddy Krueger like comes across the screen, and he's got a mattress, and he's like standing there with the mattress, pushes it back, and looks to the camera and starts like checks his watch and starts tapping his foot like he's impatient. And then right before the person falls down to the ground, he kicks away the mattress in kind of a laughing way and hustles off the screen. So it's like corny, funny horror. Obviously, the dude died because he's crashed into the ground. But I think like those are funny. Like it's a good thing to just have on like this time of year because it's creepy, like the girl turning into a roach. But it's funny because of that stupid line of roaches check in, but they don't check out. Anyway, so I would have to say that like those cheesy 80s scary movies, like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, I never saw it, when I was younger, but now that I've like watched it and it's on Netflix, dude, it's like corny and funny, and you're like, this is like kind of stupid because you got the annoying sheriff. And anyway, so if you guys like, even if you're afraid of clowns, it's funny to watch. Bit gore, like it's that cheesy gory, you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't, you got to watch it because I'm telling you, a lot of those 80s horror flicks are all kind of the same, cheesy, gory, whatever. Like it's not like the gory stuff that we get nowadays. Yeah, that cheesy stuff was good back in the 80s. The 80s held it down with those scaries, but recently, so let me cycle back. So recently I watched a messed up movie called Swallow. And why would I watch that? Like, it's only because I saw that You Should Have Left with Kevin Bacon. Honestly, that movie left me completely unsatisfied. And you'd ask, why did it leave you unsatisfied? Well, you watch something like the trailer, and the trailer is dope because he's sitting there and he's doing things with his daughter, and they're basically realizing that this home is defying physics. How is a house longer when measured on the inside than it is on the outside? Doesn't happen. Well, the show captures you like that because obviously something is up, okay? But, watch the movie, and at the end, I was like, what the fuck happened? Like, totally unexpected ending, and it had so much potential. Like, I get it. He was a kind, nice guy. He got played, totally, I think, handled the situation. Now, I'm not trying to spoil things for you, but it is not a picture-perfect picket fence. This is a great family movie, all right? It's definitely worth checking out. There's some drama for that aspect. Now, if you've got an hour and a half or almost 2 hours to burn, sure, watch this movie. But if you're really busy and you don't, I'm going to sit here and tell you didn't miss much. But the ending is so unsatisfying. Like, it ended and I was seriously disappointed. I was like, man, are you kidding me? Like that? Really? That's what happens? All right, so I'm not trying to spoil it for you, but, it raises a good point. Let's talk about satisfying movies. Okay, so like whether it's low budget, mainstream, blockbuster, Bollywood, when endings are unsatisfying, it's like you feel taken advantage of. You're like, dude, that's like the most expensive thing, the most valuable thing ever is time. And you just completely wasted it with a movie that didn't have a good ending, left me hanging. And I get the idea of show business or entertainment business is, hey, get your audience to want more, right? They can watch a movie, a play, listen to your music album, make them want more. But man, make them be unsatisfied. Just disrespectful, man. And so, nobody likes to waste their time. So if you have watched, You Should Have Left, you know what I'm talking about. Because that trailer was so intriguing, but it didn't work out. So anyway, I ended up watching Swallow because it was like recommended to me. And I was like, you know what? Let me just check this out, because it was kind of like you have to watch the movie to figure out why this woman who's, attractive finds satisfaction in eating random objects in her house. So I was like, I want to know what's up with this. It's kind of weird. But anyway, yeah, it's messed up because it's not just about her eating stuff. It goes back into some psychological stuff of why she is the way she is. You have this woman who's married to what seems like a great family. Her husband's got money. He seems polite, nice, like maybe kind of neglects her a little bit, doesn't give her attention. They're both caught on their phone, or at least he is most of the time. And anyway, she's a stay-at-home wife and beautiful home. He makes lots of money, and the family, as you kind of feel later, is a little bit stuck up. But anyway, you have to try to figure out why she eats random stuff, because she does. And she starts getting into this thing where the first initial kick is she's at the restaurant with the family and she just starts crushing ice. Interestingly enough, okay, she ends up being pregnant, but it's funny that if you look at people who eat ice, right, it has to deal with like an oral fixation, or it could be sexual frustration, but she's killing ice, and not like this is like satisfying after a good meal or you burn the shit out of your tongue, but this was different. So anyway, she decides to eat other objects in her house, like batteries, jumping jack, like those jacks or whatever, the ball and jacks, the red ball, and then you got the jacks that are like, some people have decor and like a glass dish. I've seen it. Maybe you haven't, but it's there. Like, anyway, and then push pins. Yeah. I looked at the camera for that one because, man, I was like, no. I saw the movie. I was like, she grabbed a push pin and I was like, no. Like, that anybody is, I'm not going to say anybody because the movie goes somewhere else, but with why she does it. But like most of us would know, man, that's sharp. That's probably going to hurt. She also tried to, swallow a small, like, glass, small screwdriver that fixed glasses. And obviously that didn't work out too well. But, okay, I watched it. It's different. It's not Halloween worthy, but it is creepy and messed up in that aspect. And there's some like psychological stuff that's going on. So let's roll through to favorite movies, especially around this time of year. Me, I'm a paranormal type of movies person because they creep me out for way far too long. Like, totally mess me up for like several days if I watch something, especially like The Conjuring. Oh man, I didn't sleep without a light on for a very long time after seeing that movie. And I've only been through half of Conjuring 2 or whatever it was, the second one. I think the story about like the people is great, the Warrens, but honestly, man, like I got halfway through when that nun pops up in an interview. It totally fucked me up. So, but I like them, okay? But here's the thing. I think my house will already be haunted, and I try not to watch these movies because I think it provokes the negativeness that, could be dominant in my place, or it's also kind of dormant. So it has been there where things have randomly fallen, doors have shut. I've got these lights that I hang up kind of in an area of my house, and it's like, there's no way those lights should have fallen. They're like hung up very well. and they were all just ripped down one day. Like they didn't fall down. Something pulled them down. All right. So it exists, but yeah. Sorry, I thought like my phone was dying. It's not. Anyway, but yeah, like so paranormal type movies, spiritual ones, totally down for it. They totally creep me out. I could watch a movie, now that it's the season, and make some new friends in my house. Could do that. I could connect spiritually and in a social way and expand my friends, but that might not be a good idea, Like, can you imagine that? Like, walk up, hey guys, meet my new friend. He's kind of a dick, knocks things over, pulls down my lights, makes me float while I sleep, and at times forgets that us humans have bones and can't bend in half, so like leaves me crippled for about a week. But yeah, I promise, man, he's cool. He's cool, right? Like cool shit happens. You know what I'm saying? Let me stop. All right, I take all that back. Let me stop before I invite negative energy here and tell them to befriend me because I don't want them. This is a no-possesse zone, all right? So, funny story though. A few years ago when I was first producing podcasts, the Aztec Nation, when I first got involved with them, I was producing Unrestricted with Ryan Johnson, and he had a guest on the show who talked about the egg clearing thing. And I know you guys probably heard of it, and if you haven't, real quick summary of this is that you take an egg and you basically like wave it around your body, trying to seek of cleansing like whatever negative energy may be attached to you. But it can also be insightful. Like I don't know what type of tradition this is, but it could be insightful. So I did it, and I will tell you that I did it in great fashion. I probably looked awesome. I promise you. Very skilled at waving egg around my body. So you crack it and you put it in a clear glass and you analyze the egg. So I did that, cracked the egg, put it in a glass. Now, when I looked at the egg, it looked like an eye. And so I looked up what I saw and I was like, look up whatever you want, but seeing your egg look like an eye was weird. And I was like, man, maybe everybody's egg looks like an eye because you all get the yolk unless you get 2 yolks and you're lucky. Rob some chicken of twins. But most people see bubbles or cloudy or something like that. Mine, no bubbles, no clouds. I got some crystal clear eyeball looking egg. And the saddest part is that like you have to dump the egg out. I was thinking, okay, well, I did that. Let me cook the egg. But everything said, never cook the egg. You just throw it out. So I don't know what hurt more, like me seeing this egg, eye-looking thing, like looking at me, and I'm like cleanse myself and also identifying that I could be watched over by some negative spirit or something, or that I just threw out 6 grams of perfectly good protein or perfectly bad protein. I don't know. But anyway, I respect protein, and I was a little sad that you had to do that because I didn't know that until I actually attempted to do this whole egg clearing thing. I wish that would have been on the top part of the instructions. Hey, if you're going to do this egg clearing, understand that you are totally sacrificing an egg. You will crack it and throw that shit out. So that's what happened. So I did it, but I digress. Let's talk about favorite movies, all right, around this time of year. Do you start busting out the old horror flicks now that October has hit? Do you wait closer to Halloween? Or, are you just like, man, it is what it is. If it's on, I'll watch it. Or do you just watch, you can watch scary movies all year. Like, let's consider movies that you can watch all year that are kind of like scary or whatever. Like they're not like something you bust out on Valentine's Day. Or you could, like Beetlejuice. Why is that not like a couple's flick? Okay, you have 2 people who died together. Okay, supporting each other, right? She was going with him so he could go to the hardware store to buy some, so he could enhance his little, mock town that he was building, right? And then they died on the way back by a neighborhood dog or something. And then they go in the house. So they're together. They experience this awkwardness and weirdness together. Could be a couple flick, right? I think so. Why not? But is Beetlejuice one of those movies you can watch all year? I mean, it could probably fit around Christmas and Halloween, right? Beetlejuice is funny. There's a little bit of love, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but like, let's see what other ones I like that are kind of creepy around this time of year. Child's Play. I guess I kind of watched that when I was in middle school a lot because you kind of just dealt with it. But man, that's still like a creepy, I had a My Buddy doll, and that's a creepy movie, man. Like really creepy. And I'm getting a drink, so stand by for about 10 seconds of silence. Really thirsty again. But yeah, Child's Play. Never really got too far into it. I thought like the Bride of Chucky was really fucked up when I had seen that, and went to this haunt. Like, okay, this will be fun to talk about. Like the corn mazes, and like haunted houses. Okay, so I remember as a kid going through like this. It was at this corn maze farm. They had some like cool stuff, and it was a field trip. But then you walk through like this showcased event where they had all of these characters from movies. And there was this Chucky doll just chilling. And you're like, yo, I want to touch this thing. Is it real? And the thing would move when you touch it. I was like, ah! Like totally messed me up. I'm telling you. So not really a huge Child's Play fan. But cruising in like back into that. So the whole like cornfield thing, like I haven't been to a corn maze in a long time, and I think it'd be fun. Like I know some places have like the corn maze haunted houseness where you're getting pulled or escorted on a tractor, and these things come out and scare the shit out of you, or the tractor stalls and the guy's like, oh man, I can't like escape this, and like weird things happen and they can't get the thing started. But those are like cool, but I'm not like down to like experience that myself, and I'm not sure how I'd react in those situations because I've done haunted houses. Or like here in San Antonio, they've got this thing called the 13th floor, and it's like pretty creepy. So like you get escorted to this thing. So I did it. Like, you go in, you take the elevator, and totally scared me. Like we were going through, and it's like one part of the room, they had these clown dolls, right? Hanging from the ceiling, but they also had characters walking around in their cloud masks. And they were just like steady walking, like just slowly moving as you and like 4 other people are just trying to navigate your ways through these clowns hanging from nooses while these other weird ones are staring at you with these glowy ass eyes. Really messed up. And then I remember towards the end of it, there was like this butcher. So there's this woman who was like sawed up, like great special effects. Like she was cut up and screaming in this corner, and there's a butcher in this like area, and he's obviously like cutting up her body, and he noticed us walking up and just throws one of his tools. He's got like one arm's all fucked up, and he grabs this hacksaw or some shit, or one of those like buzz saws, and he just cranks it and just wow. And I'm like, fuck this, I'm out. Scared the shit out of me. I was with like 4 or 5 other people, and I just started running. So I run towards the end, and obviously there's like 2 people who work by the door, and they're like, yo, slow down. And I trip over the edge of the door, and my knee smashes in to the wooden railing on the outside of this. I was like, oh no, oh my gosh, it hurt so bad. I was like, I had to sit down, completely scared the crap out of me. Like, that was bad. Like, it was just so creepy. I think the clowns, I'm not afraid of clowns, okay? But it was just weird that, like, the clowns were hanging from the ceiling, but then they also had these, like, clown, like, they're probably high school kids getting paid minimum wage or something, but they were just, like, walking around in between these clowns that are hanging by you. Obviously, they can't touch you or nothing, but they got pretty close. But they didn't have their hands, but they were just standing there. Like, obviously, like 3 or 4 buddies just cruising around. Like, I don't know. Anyway, that was my reaction. I can't imagine what it would be like if I was in a corn maze and all of a sudden I just, like, lost my shit because I got scared because they couldn't start the tractor up. And you're, like, probably yelling, yo, start the tractor. I don't know, but I don't know if it would be cool to experience. I think they still have it now. Like, you got to reserve spots to go to, like, haunted houses. And it's probably different because I'm sure all the actors are wearing masks. Like, I don't know. Might be cool to check out, though. I mean, can't do anything else. So, like, I don't know, maybe. There's got to be a couple other like creepy things. Like there's some real hotels here that are actually haunted and there's pictures of it. That may be the 13th floor. I don't, it's like probably like I went there like 5 years ago, but we've got all month and I promise you we're going to talk about Halloween probably every episode. If I'm being 100% honest with you, because I love this time of year and there's always cool stuff going on, and I'm sure I'll watch a show or two, a movie or two. I don't watch a lot of TV or movies because I'm always like doing something here in the studio. But if I do, they're usually a really fucked up movie and I'm always willing to talk about it. All right. So that's some good stuff there. Let's talk about fashion for a moment. Okay. And the first topic of this is dudes in these skirts or dresses or whatever they are. Like, what's up with this? You know what I mean? Like, I thought I saw it the first time or whatever was at like, New York Fashion Week. And then you're kind of like, okay, like outside of the box, like you're making a statement, whatever. But, like men wearing some tight leggings or skinny jeans and then some type of like skirt over it. But then they also have like a baggy shirt or something up top. You know what I'm saying? Like, so is this look dope? Now, I'm not saying I would go about rocking this, but I was talking to my mom about it because of one of the main characters, David in Schitt's Creek, kind of like that show, but that character rocks that type of stuff. Like that's his style. You know what I'm saying? You guys haven't seen Schitt's Creek. That show is fucking hilarious. My mom recommended it to me, and it is funny. Like, no wonder they won so many Emmys. But is this a dope look? Like, seriously, like, only time I've seen it is, like I said, New York Fashion Week in GQ. And if it was usually featuring, like, Jaden Smith or Pharrell. Like, so, I got to be honest. Like, I don't think this is a look that I can pull off. Like, I'm a pretty confident dude, but can't say that I could rock a dress type ensemble and feel flawless. Like, I don't know. Like, it just would be weird to me. And I don't know if I could use the bathroom and feel cool standing at the urinal and pull the skirt up and hold it under my chin. Like, I don't really know how I would feel about that. Like, it might be weird. Like, I don't know. Like, just might not be my thing. But hey, if it's you, then do you. You know what I'm saying? I just see more of it often. Like, and okay, let's consider this. Like, in the 80s, there was a thing, and I know this because I rocked this at an 80s themed party, but where you would tie your button-up jacket or shirt behind you and like it would flare out the back. Like, I guess that was kind of a cool grungy look. It was definitely more 80s, I guess, than grunge, but the skirt thing, man, is just like different. But if it's you, then do you. I just don't think I could do it. But what I do think is in this season, all right, and hot right now, I would say Champion hoodies, lightweighted hooded jackets, or I should say that properly, lightweight hooded jackets. I promise you, one beer. And of course, like I've mentioned before, adding some Timbs to that ensemble. So it's cooling off here in Texas, and I've got my gray sweats. I promise I will post a pic of that on my Instagram. And I've got my hoodie ready. So once it starts getting better, more comfortable temperatures, I'm totally going to rock that outfit. Right now, I think it's still a little too hot. I'm rocking shorts. Not quite jean weather, almost there. It's weird, though. Mornings are like 50 degrees. Afternoons are like almost 90. But it is what it is, right? So also in this process, I was looking for some Timbs because, I talked about this a lot last week. Looking for some Timbs, and I'm going to go with some probably that are like the brown, shiny type of leather rather than the traditional beige khaki style. Just because I think with the brown, like the shiny, it's more of like a classy look. You can rock it with like khakis or whatever, or jeans, and it would still be dope, And I think you could rock that even going out. Like, it's not like the traditional type of, black leather pull-up boot or something like that. But I think you could look good, like other than just chilling. And I get that even though it's not like a thing with COVID right now to go out and just like chill at some like nightclub or bar, but I think that's the style I would rock with. And I might need to pick up a sweater too. Sweaters are in. Like the cool ones, not the ugly sweaters, but the good sweaters. You know what I'm saying? Like the ones that are white and get dirty very easy. Those ones that look so great. And what about leather jackets? Like, I think these are back. So it could be a badass biker one, like I used to rock in middle school when I was obsessed with the fonts. Or you can keep it low, classy, low key, like a brown or maybe a black jacket that just zips up, nothing too flary or fancy. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But I think it would be a good look. I really do. But what am I talking about buying leather jackets and boosting up my wardrobe for? Can't even flaunt it, And I'm also going to sit here and act like the new iPad Air isn't going to drop this month, which it totally is. Every day I check the Apple Store to see if it's out yet. And it's probably going to just come in an email like when the iPad Pro came out. I'm not an iPad Pro guy. I just don't see the use of it for me. But an iPad Air, hell yeah. And it looks like the iPad Pro, I'm in. So I'm probably just going to get an email one of these days that says it's here or something creative. Apple's really good at that. They rule you. Wow. You know what? I'm talking like this because it was a wild day. And I talked to a lot of people today. And that's probably why I can't get my words out. So I apologize. But yeah, need to check myself before I fuck everything up that I want to buy here soon. So I'll wait and chill. I'm telling you, might not buy the Tims and the jackets, maybe just the Tims. We'll see though. Let me just not sit here, let me not sit here and tell the universe that I need to budget and can't afford something. That's a lie. I could totally get Tims, the jacket, and the iPad Air. Hashtag blessed. All right, let's get back to the intriguing question of the night. Okay, what movie can you watch over and over and never get tired of? This is tough, and I was balancing. It was a tough balance. Talked about it to myself a lot. Okay, there's two. And the two, are Dirty Dancing and Pulp Fiction. Now, it's so close, man. I really want to go with two, but I know that's unfair when you say what movie, not movies, what movie can you watch over and over and never get tired of? Man, in other words, like they don't get annoying or anything like that. I would have to say, I would have to go with Pulp Fiction. And I would have to go with that one. The dialogue rules me in, but here's the thing, right? The dialogue and soundtrack of Dirty Dancing hooks me. I absolutely love it. I think it's dope. The scene's dope. And obviously, like, the way they filmed it and where they filmed it kind of reminded me of, like, where I grew up. And I worked at, like, the golf courses, like, in the resorts that used to be the thing, like, back in the 50s and 60s. Like, that was it. So it reminds me of, like, growing up and seeing those places that, obviously, like, run down or whatever. But that used to be the shit. Like, everybody used to go upstate New York in the Catskills and go to those, like, kind of resorts and sleep in bungalows and hang out at the pool and do the little festivities and on the lake, whatever. So I really love that one. But the plot and dialogue of Pulp Fiction never gets old, like, ever. I mean, I may fall asleep watching Pulp Fiction depending when it happens, but it's just a super dope movie. So that's what I would say. That's a movie that I can watch over and over again and never get old and never be like, why am I keep watching this shit? I would enjoy it every single time. But what do you guys think? Like, let me know. Hit me up on Twitter at DJ Unprotected and fill me in. All right. Okay, guys, listen, didn't mean to cut it short. We're just over a half hour here. I'd love to keep talking to you guys. My camera's going to die, and I'd like to post these videos completely to the YouTube channel. So what we're going to do is I am going to cut this short, but we are going to have an awesome time next week and the rest of the month. I'm excited. We've got a Halloween party at the end of the month. We're going to do it. Have a great time. I'm super excited about that. I'm telling you, like, this month is always fun for me. I mean, November, December is cool too, but this month's like unique. You rolled off the summer and whatever, so it's going to be dope, all right? So thank you again for tuning into The Output with me, DJ Unprotected. This is a podcast presented by Aztec Nation. I invite you to check out the company's other podcast that's out right now, and it's called Killin' Time. That's TYME. It's a podcast about everything and nothing at the same time, which releases on Mondays and is fun. It features a group of guys and they chop it up around the table with some drinks and hit all the topics. You will be entertained, I can promise you that. All right, so I hope you're picking up what we're putting out. We got a lot to say. Tune in on your favorite streaming platform next week for a brand new episode and an intriguing question as we cruise through October. Wow, the 10th month. Oh, 2020, you were as quick as a good dream, but damn, you felt like a nightmare. See you next week. We out.